Good morning, everyone. Welcome. My name is Ravit Turjaman. I'm with Reliabilities International. For those of you who might need visual description, I'm a middle-aged woman with Mediterranean complexion, above the ears, short haircut, with a bad hair day, and I'm wearing a dark gray dress. I'm here this morning with Deepti Prasad with the No Barrier Foundation. Deepti, would you like to start with describing yourself?
Sure. I'm from India, and I'm wearing an Indian charcoal black sari with gold intricate detailing on it. My hair is waist-length long and open at the back. And I am the founder and settler of No Barrier Foundation, which has a product called Nobaflix, which is Netflix for the blind.
Fantastic. Can you tell us a little bit about the foundation?
So we do this, we make movies accessible. I'm sure a lot of us are big movie fans. How many of you know about Indian cinema? Can we get like a little bit of a cheer here? Yeah, so we make movies accessible for persons with visual disabilities. And all the movies are made accessible and hosted on the platform. The platform is a subscription-based model, keeping sustainability in mind in near future. And the users who cannot afford the subscription can also request for sponsorship, and companies can give out their CSR funds, or friends and family can come forward and do the donation on behalf of that user.
Okay. And how did it come about? How did you one day woke up and decide to initiate or launch this type of app?
So it was not one day, but yes, a lot of requests from the community members about the old content. So Indian cinema has over hundreds, thousands of movies which are available in the public domain, inaccessible. So that kept bothering me, that how do we make this library accessible, and how do I go about, because it's a huge, huge responsibility. So I started as a foundation. It is not for profit, but previously, I still run a for-profit venture, which is called Excel Cinema. That makes the theaters accessible. So when persons with visual or hearing disabilities walk inside theaters to enjoy a movie with their friends or family, they can listen to audio description, they can enjoy sign language in this very same setup, bringing inclusivity in the theater. And but that is for the new movies. But the old movies is done by Nobaflix.
Okay, and just to put things in context, you were sharing with me some amazing demographics. So is it 36 million of the world's population is blind, right?
Yes.
And how many of them are in India?
About 70.
70 million blind and low vision individuals. So obviously there is a huge market and need for that. So it's incredible that you were able to address this need. You just mentioned that the app is accessible or available in the cinema. You shared with me previously that the process of creating the audio description is actually not taking place in the start of the production process, rather than when the film is already in the theater. Can you share a little bit more about that? Because that's really turning things a bit over.
So Excel Cinema is a service provider to the production houses or the content creators. We provide accessibility feature and hosting of the accessibility feature as a service to them for a fraction of cost. Okay. So once the movie is ready to be, for display, for exhibition in the theaters, that's when we come in and we provide the accessibility feature for them. We create it for them.
Why not in the production stage?
I think we are still on that evolving and learning curve. Back when I started in 2018, a lot of production houses did not know how does a blind person even operate a smartphone. Mm-hmm. That was the eye-opening and the realization moment for them. So they are also learning in the same curve, and I'm sure in near future there will be accessibility funds allocated for the movie production, and if it is done while the movie is being created, of course it would make a lot of lives easier, but not at this stage. Mm-hmm. I don't think the industry is still ready to completely change the way they function.
Okay, and you mentioned education and funding. So let's start with the education part. what does it take, or what did it take for you to educate both the producers or why they need to make the films accessible, and how did you make it known that this type of accessibility is available to the public?
So for the production houses, it's a business opportunity for them. Accessibility is not charity. Once they make the movie accessible, the users walk inside the theaters, they purchase tickets, so extra tickets being sold, extra F&B being sold inside the theater premises, which is business for all. And when it comes to the visually impaired population in India, a lot of them lack the knowledge of what is accessible movies or what is audio description. Hence, as No Barrier Foundation, my team travels to various blind schools, NGOs, hostels where visually impaired or blind people recite in large numbers. We show them one movie with audio description that creates the awareness about accessible movie, that creates the awareness about the platforms being made available to them. And since once they experience one movie, then there's no looking back. Then they're addicted to watching content, and they watch a lot of content.
So the other part of what you just mentioned was funding. Is there any government support and regulations that facilitate your work, that makes it feasible to make this large number of films accessible for the blind and deaf and hearing impaired?
The government does not have any fund, but yes, we do have, Government of India has recently launched guidelines that tells that every movie that's going to be available in theaters or exhibited in theaters need to be accessible to the persons with vision disabilities and persons with hearing disabilities. So both the features have to be a mandate. It's like a mandate which is launched by the Government of India.
Amazing. Well, I'm from the US, and there's not much government regulations or funding, and readability is all the films that and I didn't mention about readabilities, I'm sorry. We are the world's leading organization that uses film as a tool to promote disability, inclusion, and accessibility, both on and off the screen, as well as behind the camera. And we do caption and audio describe all of the films that are accepted to the festival and then go through our different educational, professional programs and industry initiatives. And it's very, very costly. How do you, without government funding, how do you overcome this challenge? How does do the filmmakers address this?
We are heavily invested in the technology. We have created softwares in-house that's helping my team identify the gaps between the dialogues of the movie. That's where we fit in the audio description. A lot of grammatical errors are highlighted because of AI. Obviously, there's a human in loop, and that remains, the human in loop remains there because we need to make sure that the quality of audio description or the quality of sign language that we are creating is top-notch. Because that's where my brand image gets affected. If we compromise on the quality just to reduce the cost, that is something that won't be acceptable by the community members as well as the big production house. So we are Disney certified. We are also tested by Sony. A lot of international production houses are will be hosting their content on our platforms. And even in India, the big production houses such as the Geos and the Yash Raj are hosting their content on our platform.
Okay. And could you explain for anyone who is not familiar with the platform, what is the AI component exactly? What type of innovation is part of the platform?
So, like I mentioned, it's two platforms, Excel Cinema and Nobaflix. Excel Cinema identifies when the movie is playing in the theaters and plays back the audio description or sign language for the user as per their requirement. And
I'm sorry to interrupt you. Just like plays back, you mean the creation of the audio description is done by AI, the transcribing and the placement, or?
No. So audio description is created in advance and then hosted on the platform. It is not live audio description.
Okay.
And we also break the language barriers with the same technology, that if there are multilingual users who want to go to theaters and watch the movie in their preferred language. So the app identifies exactly which point the movie is playing and plays back the alternative dub track. The AI is used in creation of audio description. Back then, when we started 2018, it used to take us about 7 to 10 working days for making a 2 hours movie accessible, and more for the other people. But now we are delivering audio description of 2 hours movie in 24 hours.
Incredible. What is the feedback? How was it accepted by the community? How many users do you have?
So again, very proud to say that we have the largest number of audio description consumers on our platform, which is roughly around 75,000 users have gone to the theaters to experience movies because of Excel Cinema. And on Nobaflix also, we have a good number of about 35,000 users who are enjoying movies on the go.
Amazing. Congratulations on that. And you mentioned, I think, on your deck online, that Nobaflix is more than just an app, an accessibility app. It created really a community. Could you share a little bit of that, about that? Sorry.
So like we earlier mentioned, that India is home to world's 50% blind population. But this entire population is in silos at different platforms. There's no platform where all the blind community members are a part of. So where I see No Barrier Foundation product Nobaflix is, of course, we attract the users because we want to entertain them. In near future, it is going to be that one-stop solution to everyone who wants to reach out to the persons with vision disabled users, whether it's advertisements, whether it's education, whether it's any kind of announcement that needs to be done among the community member. The platform is going to be Nobaflix.
And you already have some WhatsApp groups around the users of the platform that are communicating outside of the platform and really created this community that is engaged and participatory.
Yes.
That's great. That's great. Could you share, I see that we are almost out of time. Could you share what is next for Nobaflix? What does the future hold for you?
So I see lots and lots of content being hosted in Nobaflix. And we also want to start catering to the hearing impaired or the deaf community by hosting sign language and closed captions for content which is not available in the other OTTs or other public domain. So Indian cinema has a lot of content. So it's going to be a long, long journey ahead.
And anyone that wants to learn more, how can they reach you or learn more about the product and the foundation?
I am right here. Otherwise, after Zero Project, you can reach out on www.nobaflix.com.
Thank you. I will mention that later today, we also have another conversation that relates to accessible cinema and presentation of films, so I hope that you can join us again in the afternoon. And since we have another 1 minute and 40 seconds, could you, you've mentioned in our conversation that in March this year, there's going to be a new regulation by the Indian government regarding accessibility of cinema. Could you share a little bit about that as well?
Yeah, so it all started about 2 years ago when the government of India came up with the guidelines. So initially it was for movies that have multi-language, they need to have the accessibility feature in place. Then phase 2, they had movies which are going in for the awards of film festivals. They need to have the accessibility features in place. But 15th of March 2026 onwards, all the movie, irrespective to their budget, irrespective to, as long as they are being exhibited in a public theater, they need to have the accessibility features.
I wish that for all markets throughout the world. And is it correct that if a film is not accessible online, it becomes a public domain that any foundation can take on and make it accessible on their platform?
Yes, the RPWD Act in India says that any content which is inaccessible can be made accessible.
Amazing. More work to you. Congratulations also on being awarded with the Zero Project Awardee list. Thank you so much, everyone. I hope that you will reach out and learn more from Deepti and about real abilities as well. Thank you. Have a good rest of the day.